Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is God's on Goal podcast, and yes, I am back after a few days of meditating. Not necessarily a few days, just a day. I took a day off to try and internalize what happened the other day at the Emirates versus Liverpool. It's a result that at this point now I've accepted. It happened. I've read con- all the content, or rather, I've heard and I've read all the content that is surrounding that specific game, and everything just has calmed down now. Mm, in hindsight, that wasn't really a bad result, but because we are 6 points above Manchester City, so we accept that. So yes, on today's episode, basically, as much as we're going to talk about that game, we're going to talk about at least Bukayo Saka's contract extension, which, to no surprise, they have released it immediately after a bad result in our team, and it was expected. And I was watching a stream last week on, I think it was Ligana. Yes, it was Ligana, and he was talking about how this club is a PR machine. But that, and he talked about how if any result goes bad for us, there is a high chance that they will announce a contract extension for a player. And truth be told, it wasn't really a surprise that it has to be Bukayo Saka. And the reports that are going everywhere that it was signed earlier, it was ready, blah blah blah. No, there's a whole story about that. But regardless, this is God's on Gold. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And let's just begin and talk and talk and talk and talk and see what you're going to do. Also, it's an FA Cup weekend. That's also good. But let's talk about a Liverpool game just a little bit for a couple of minutes and see. Yes, that result didn't really favor either of us. That includes Liverpool and Arsenal, because now when you saw City dropping points, Aston Villa dropping points, we were there to create a gap of 8 points, and we didn't do it. So that is that. I don't think anyone can begrudge us for that. They weren't really like clear cut chances that we missed, apart from saying, oh, this pass should have been taken to Gyökeres should have been in this position, Gabriel Jesus should be here. uh, you know I think there's a reason why majority of us are football fans, and we are reactionary to the situation that we see with only with our eyes. We don't know what happens in the background to put a ball into that position where you expect a player to be. Yes, it sounds repetitive to them, but to us as fans, maybe we overanalyze games. We think that maybe we know too much, or maybe we expect too much. Because here's the thing: this is not PlayStation, where you can set this specific player to play this specific point. You press buttons and you expect it to just land miraculously. No, these are players that go through drills, they go through training, they watch videos, they have coaches, they have shooting drills, they have that anticipation. Of course, a good player is a good player, you will see with your own eyes. Bad player also is a bad player, you will also see with your own eyes. And rarely do bad players get to play, because a player who is in the starting 11 of a Premier League team, that is an elite footballer. Nonetheless, with the Gyökeres issue, I hope he gets to score as soon as possible. I hope he gets to score as soon as possible in the running, because now it looks like we're going to struggle, because if our striker is not getting the chances, or is not scoring the chances that he gets, or he isn't really in sync with the team, because people are going to try and blame the system, try and blame the coach. People will go further and say that he's not good enough. Of course, we expected him to perform this way for us fans who are like, no, get this other striker, he moves well. But we saw Gyökeres as not the best option. Maybe we were right, maybe we were wrong, but there's a reason why there are people at Arsenal who are getting paid real money to make decisions, and that does not include the fans. Whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision, just know somebody signed off on that, and I bet they are in good spirits. They know that what they signed is good for the club, so it's just a matter of waiting. That game just ended. It was flat. The only talking points was Martinelli pushing Conor Bradley, Liverpool fans going mad on the timeline. Just a lot of nonsense on their end. I mean, I've never seen such sore losers in Liverpool fans. I I even did not even have any respect for them to begin with, because I remember last season with the banner they did for Arteta, it was in bad taste. So ever since, I have never really viewed Liverpool in any good way. Apart from when Klopp was there, they looked like a fine team, like they were good. Even they also used to beat us all the time, but they were never such sore losers. Yes, Man City dominated them, but there's this thing that goes on online with this Man City and Liverpool fans where they try and support each other, saying they're the best title rivals. In the end, Manchester City won like 80% of the titles that they fought with Liverpool. You see, and then this season Liverpool just fell off. They are hoping and praying that Man City should win the league. They are hoping and praying that Arsenal should just bottle it. I mean, Liverpool fans are so distasteful, including even some of their players. I've seen them online. It was a draw, and they went and posted pictures online, posted pictures of their golden badge. I mean, they know that they are not winning the league this season, so that is the only time they felt like relevant to the situation. But I remember saying when Sosobozlai was talking in a press conference, he was right to say we now Arsenal are playing against the champions, not the other way around. And if that is how the champions played and got away with it, and it looks like they were happy with how things turned out, then I guess it's better it ended that way. And I'm glad we're not facing that team anymore again this season. I'm just glad we are done with it. Unless we meet in the FA Cup or something, nah. I'm just glad that is over, and I'm happy with the result. We just have to go again because now the next two games are Nottingham Forest, tricky fixture away against Sean Dyke, and Sean Dyke, he'll decide to, with the way he plays against Arsenal. So yes, that is a game to watch. And then the other game it will be Arsenal versus Manchester United. That is also a tough fixture. Manchester United is always a tough fixture for everyone at this point. Very scary team. Now, in terms of the contract extension for Saka, we got a 5-year contract extension to 2031. He'll be 29 by then. I hope he would have won multiple trophies. That will also include the Champions League. That elusive Champions League. Yes, people will laugh. Arsenal winning the Champions League, blah, blah, blah. But majority of these teams that are laughing, apart from the Chelsea fans, they won their trophy more than a decade ago. Doesn't make sense. So, yes, Saka is good to stay. He can, he looks like the future captain of the club. And I mean only if we can be able to let go of Odegaard in future. I know there's someone out there who won't be happy with my comments about Odegaard. But here's the thing. I love Odegaard. I appreciate what he is to the club, or what he has done to the club up to this point. I haven't seen enough to call him one of the best players in the team. Even the time when he won the Arsenal Player of the Season, I wasn't really excited because Bukayo Saka really deserved it. That season. But he didn't win anything, so Odegaard seemed more influential. He's one of those players now. If we don't win anything this season as the captain, questions will be asked of the coach. First of all, I don't know whether he'll be here. That is one guarantee, because if he doesn't win anything this season, we have a Carabao Cup match in the weekday versus Chelsea. That's also another trophy to look out for. We also have an FA Cup tomorrow. That is on Sunday as a Sportsmouth. I don't think he will play, but if he does, it's good. But the pressure is really, really on this captain and on our coach. Our coach, number one, this has to win a trophy. That's one thing. Has to win a trophy. And the league should be the priority. Of course, you don't have to, despise these other cups, but the league is basically priority number one. And then these other trophies. If you win the Carabao Cup, it will give the players and the coach the momentum to go further into the league, into the cups, and everything else. The pressure is on him because now he has to deliver something this season. And that also shows that if we do not win anything and Arteta leaves, the next coach that will be there will definitely have to choose a new captain. And the candidates for the new captain position aren't really that controversial. There is Gabriel, there is Declan Rice, and there is Bukayo Saka. Those are the three players that, if one of them is chosen as captain, majority of Arsenal fans won't really cry much. I'm not even making this like a topic for Odegaard, but in terms of his output, what he is to the club, in terms of his consistency, he needs to do more. We also expect more from Saka now that he has signed a new contract because he's being paid well. The club has seen value for money to keep him. So it is fair to say that they expect good things from him. Same case with every other single Arsenal player who is in the team right now. We're also expecting contract extensions for Havertz, whom people are so much divided on. But I am one of those guys who will like, we still need Havertz in the team. Havertz will get a contract extension, Declan Rice and Jurien Timber. So, and then you add Saka and Gabriel. Those 5 players are basically the core of our team. And Gabriel also. 6. Now those are 6 players. Those are the core of our team. The players that we can depend on at any given moment, whether the going is tough, whether we are playing well or we are playing badly. These are the players we are going to be looking up to give us a moment of brilliance or some imagination. I was really surprised in the game versus Liverpool. Saka was subbed off. If I was Arteta, I would have subbed off Saka. I would have subbed off a player like Odegaard, who was also subbed off anyway. I would have subbed off a player like Odegaard, put Eze on the left, bring Martinelli as the false 9, put Gyökeres on the bench, bring Merino. Try and bring some stability in our midfield because you are really struggling in that game, and try to go for a win. But it's been long since we saw our team, trying to go for that win, trying to go and win a specific game when we are under pressure. We haven't seen that in a long time. But let me just hope this is just a blip that we got. This is just one of those games where it just went. But I hope it doesn't come to cost us in the future. Of course, United, Manchester City, for example, are going to be facing Manchester United their next game. That is never an easy game. So we know that we have to capitalize on any result. Whether they win, whether they lose, or whether they draw, we have to capitalize on it. So that means we have to get a minimum of 3 points from Nottingham Forest. Add that into the FA Cup versus Portsmouth. I'm expecting at least a rotated side. I'm happy that we are not wearing that white jersey. That is also another good thing, or the good news that I have for you this week. Because we have this idea that that white jersey we never win in them. So yes, that is also something we look forward to. I'm expecting a rotated side, maybe for the defense to remain constant. Maybe change the goalkeeper, but for the rest of the team, I'm expecting to see players like Noagad play, Merino play, Eze play, Madueke play. Also want Gyökeres to start that specific game, and get his shooting boots on, get some confidence, watch his movements, try something new in that game. Yes, he has to start padding. Even if he scores a hat trick, people will say it's Portsmouth, but you're going to say Gyökeres has scored a hat trick, and it will be in the records. It will be there. No, Martinelli to stay. As much as Martinelli was in some hot soup while for pushing corner, but they apologized, and that was a nothing moment. But Liverpool are trying to drag it and drag it. So yeah, that game I'm expecting a lot of changes. For the Chelsea game in the Carabao Cup, I'm expecting less and less changes, but a player like Declan Rice, of course, will be there. He will be there. I can guarantee you that. I don't expect him to start versus Portsmouth, but with Arteta, you never know. You never really know. But Madueke looked really hyped up when he came on. Martinelli was okay when he came on also. Gabriel Jesus was good. I mean, we just need to get a good run of games where we are winning comfortably. Then the team can get confidence. But if you're struggling to get goals in the first half, and then when the ideas are over, we just sit back and watch as the teams are just moving sideways. That is something that we should check on. But all in all, it was a good festive period. It started while we were 2 points ahead of Manchester City. It ended while we are 6 points ahead of Manchester City. In hindsight, that is a good sign of a team that is actually challenging for the league, and it looks like we will be there in the conversations at the end of the season. Now, whoever will be at the end, that is not Arsenal at the end of the league to win it, and now we'll just have to fire the coach. Just has to go. I'm really tired. I'm really tired at this point to be extremely patient. Of course, I don't expect to give him a deadline. You're supposed to do this before this time, or if you don't do it, you leave. But we understand in this business, football business, if you're not giving out proper results, something tangible, something you can touch like a trophy, then questions need to be asked about you. But that's basically all. In terms of the prediction, I expect us to win versus Portsmouth. Of course, I'll have a match reaction after that. The other games. Let me see the other games that are interesting. Um, for today on Saturday, let's see. There is for Premier League teams only. That is, there's Wolves versus Shrewsbury, Newcastle versus Bournemouth, Brentford versus Sheffield Wednesday, Fulham versus Middlesbrough. That looks like an interesting one. There is Ipswich Town versus Blackpool, Man City versus Exeter. Man City will kill this team properly. Burnley, Millwall. Which other team? Spurs versus Aston Villa. Oh yes, we will be there for the hate watch. Actually, yes. Tottenham versus Aston Villa, that is a match that I'll definitely give a match reaction because I'll be there to hate watch. And I hope Spurs lose. Chelsea versus Charlton later on tonight. I don't think I'll be there 11 p.m. Nah. And then two more, and then there's Leeds versus Derby County, and then Portsmouth versus Arsenal. Which other Premier League team is playing? Liverpool versus Barnsley, that is on Monday. And tomorrow on Sunday, Man United versus Brighton. So yeah, nothing, no EPL matches. At least we can rest. After that, we have the Carabao Cup in the midweek. Man City versus Newcastle and Arsenal versus Chelsea. Those are big games to watch, and we expect more from it. But yes, this is Goals on Goal podcast. This is just basically an update. Just a briefing to remind you that I'm still here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. If there's anything to update you guys, I will definitely do so. Yes, thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you soon.